class, and welcome to Philosophy 2025. This is one of the only philosophy classes you will have to take in the program, and for some of you, I know that you're not looking forward to this. As a result, philosophy is not something that a lot of people naturally gravitate towards, but I'm here to make a prediction that you will like the class more than you think, and that you will be more successful in the class than you think. And I am here to help ensure that that happens. So right up front, if you need any help during this class, please feel free to email me, call me. We can set up a Skype meeting. If you live in the area, we can meet face-to-face, but I want to make sure that you succeed. Philosophy can be difficult, but it should not be intimidating. And my job is to sort of make this a little bit more manageable for you as we move through. My name is Joe Bankard. You can call me Joe, that's fine. If you're more comfortable, Dr. Bankard works. This is an adult program, and so I'm fine with you referencing me as Joe and being more familiar there. And again, hopefully throughout the course, I look forward to getting to know most of you on the discussion boards, and hopefully you'll maybe give me a call again or send me an email, give me some of your own story, some of your own information, because some of the joy of online teaching is getting to know students from all over the country, different age ranges, different occupations. So I'll look forward to getting to know you as we move along. I figured we should start with you getting to know a little bit about me. I've been married for 13 years to a wonderful woman named Kelly. She has her master's in social work, and that's what she does, although she spends most of her time now at home because we have 2 young children. Our son Sullivan is 5, and our daughter Nina is about 6 months. Sullivan still has not started kindergarten though, and so 2 kids at home, that's what she does most of the time. She works just a little bit here and there, but she plans to go back to school when our kids are a little bit older, or go back to work, excuse me. Predominantly, she's a school social worker. She's hoping to continue that here in Idaho. We also have 2 children. We also have a dog named Maury. He's a beagle, 12 years old, kind of an old dog now. I don't know how much he's cost me and my family, but I'm sure it's more than he's worth. So if anyone's looking for a good dog, no, I'm kidding. I love him, but I loved him a lot more before my kids were born. I don't know if that's your experience, but for the first 8 years we had him, no, not quite, 7 years or so, he was our baby. I practically chewed up his food like a mother bird for him, but since our kids have been born, he's sort of neglected, and I think that's why he's been acting out. But we've lived in Boise now for 6 years. I've been at NNU now for 6 years teaching philosophy. I think I have some pictures for you here. Oh yeah, here, in fact, let me move myself over. So that's me and my wife. We were actually in San Francisco last Thanksgiving and a little after, and you can see they're setting up for Christmas. It was a great time. And then here are my 2 children. That's Sullivan, and this was when Nina, his sister, was really young, but I love that picture, although it'd be nice if I could get a shirt on him. So that's some about me here. Then you see education here. I put this in case anyone knows the area, but I graduated from Tehachapi High School in 1994. It's a small town in Central California near Bakersfield. I went to the Nazarene Church there, and then graduated and went to Point Loma Nazarene University in San Diego. It's actually right on the cliffs. It overlooks the ocean. It's beautiful. Had a great time. It's actually a sister university of Northwest Nazarene University. I knew people that went to Point Loma and then were at NNU, and there's a lot of cross-pollination, and so I was able to get an interview here and ultimately the job. I got my master's from San Diego State in 2001. All this was in philosophy. My degree at Point Loma was in philosophy. My degree from San Diego State was in philosophy, and then my PhD was at Claremont Graduate University, which is in Los Angeles, and that was in philosophy of religion and theology. I've now again been at NNU for about 6 years, and it's just been great. Great place to work, great colleagues. Really enjoyed it. Outside of sort of being a nerd and enjoying philosophy and reading and things like that, I enjoy movies quite a bit. I really love movies. I have young kids now, so I don't get to the theater as much. I do rent movies. I use Netflix a lot. If you have any recommendations, I'm always curious to hear. Some of my recent favorites, I put there Lars and the Real Girl, thought that was excellent. I just saw Lincoln in the theater not too long ago. Tree of Life. Shawshank Redemption, which isn't that recent, but it's so good. It's still one of my favorites. So these are just some of my favorites, but I have many. And then I also really enjoy sports. I used to play sports, but not so much anymore now. I'm more of a fan. I love football. I'm in a fantasy football league. I cheer for the Cowboys, which is unfortunate, and I'm sure that makes many of you like me less. But just know that they bring me nothing but misery, and I dislike Jerry Jones very much and wish they had a different owner. So if you know football at all and you don't like the Cowboys, I can understand why. I also really love baseball and watch that some. I enjoy golf. I fall asleep on Sundays watching golf at times when I'm not wrestling with my children. So I enjoy sports. A little bit about the course. This is just a brief introduction, okay? Some of the questions we're going to look at in the course, the primary questions, right? How should we make moral judgments? And that should not be more judgments, I'm sorry, that should be moral. How should we make moral judgments and moral decisions? How can we justify moral judgments and moral decisions? So if I make a decision and someone says, well, why did you do that? We can say, for this reason. Here's why I did it, right? Or if I make a moral judgment like, well, that's immoral, and someone says, why? I can say, here are my reasons why that's immoral. And this is important, talking with students. I was just talking with a student, they were writing a paper about suicide. And, it's a common belief that suicide is immoral, right? That it's wrong, you shouldn't take your own life. And I asked the student, okay, well, why is it wrong? Why is suicide wrong? And they didn't have a good answer. And it was like something that they believed and thought, but they hadn't really asked themselves why. They didn't have any justification. This class, in part, is to help us answer those kinds of why questions for all sorts of moral issues, right? So that's a lot of what we'll be doing. And then it's hopefully going to help us make moral judgments and have our moral behavior become more consistent, less arbitrary, right? But we have consistent criteria that we use to make moral judgments. So those are some of the main questions we'll be hitting on, and I think the course is going to be really interesting and engaging, and I think you'll enjoy it. The first half of the course, 3 or 4 weeks, are going to be dealing with moral theory. We're going to be dealing with it at the theoretical level. And predominantly, we're going to look at 3 moral theories. The first is utilitarianism. It's a big word, but it's pretty easy to understand. They base moral decisions on consequences. Whatever produces the best outcomes is the moral thing to do, right? So it's a very pragmatic, sort of consequentialist-based moral theory. The second is deontologists, or deontology. Another big word, but it basically just means duty-based ethics, duty to the moral law, and we uphold those moral principles even if the consequences turn out bad, so it's less consequential and more principle-based. And then we'll cover virtue theory, which talks about character development. How do I become a virtuous person inside? It's not so much about what I do or focused on that, it's focused on becoming a certain person. So those will be the 3 primary theories we cover, and then the second part of the class will be application. So we'll take these moral theories and we'll apply them to various moral issues to see how do they look if we apply it in this context or that context. 2 of the primary issues we'll look at is wealth and distribution. This has been a huge debate in our country. Taxing the rich more, do we not? Should we tax less? What's the role of government? What's the most just way to distribute a society's resources, right? So we'll be looking at various arguments and ways of making those the case there. And then we'll look at war and violence. Is war ever justified? What criteria would we use to say this war is justified or not? Should we be nonviolent? Those sorts of things. And so these will be the 2 main moral topics that we apply the theories to, but we'll be getting into lots of different issues and application. These will just be the 2 dominant forms and the ones that we'll do the most reading on. So that will be the course as a whole, right? Moral theory, then application. I think, again, you're going to enjoy it. If you run into any trouble, let me know. After you watch this introductory video, I strongly recommend, before you start the semester, that you watch the syllabus orientation video. I'm going to basically make a video where I walk you through the syllabus, what are my expectations, what are the assignments, what am I looking for, and I think more than anything else that will help you sort of gear up and get ready for the semester. All right, great to sort of meet you all. If you have any questions, please send me some emails, and I'll look forward to getting to know you better online.